Welcome back to the Honda Build-Off presented by Continental Tire. Today we are dynoing this and that. Get excited, everybody. It is dyno time. We are here at Tuning by Nick's shop, and we are going to tune the EK hatchback with the K-swap. But before we do that, I figured, you know what? We might as well put the mighty Integra Type R on here for it to set a baseline. So post in the comments, guys, before you move forward, what your predictions are on the Integra and then the K-swap Civic.
We don't want you guys to have all the fun without us though, so we are gonna make some predictions on dyno numbers as well. And I can tell you, in my original Type R, my 01 Type R that had maybe 70,000 kilometers on it, it dynoed bone stock at 164 wheel horsepower, I think it was. And then we did intake header exhaust, and it made like right around 180, 181. This is 270,000 kilometers with intake header and exhaust, though a 3-inch exhaust. So, I don't know, I wanna say it's gonna make 180. I'll just say 180, a nice round number. And this is, of course, Nick from Tuning by Nick. The name might have given it away. And if you like all-wheel drive turbocharged RSXs,
Yep.
997s converted to K24 turbo power.
Yep.
And if you like anything Honda related, then jump onto his YouTube channel, which is called Tuning by Nick. He's got all kinds of great content on there, including tuning the K-swap 240, right?
Yep.
That's on your channel as well as ours, obviously. But
And your other EK.
that's right, yeah, the EK Coupe. So a well-known Honda whisperer here in the Toronto area, and I'm sure you've whispered to quite a few Type Rs in your day.
Over the years, I've done a lot of Type Rs.
So what do you think with this combination of intake header exhaust? It's a Comtech Icebox, it's a PLM header, TA header, and a 3-inch exhaust system with a high flow cap. So it's full 3-inch from the downpipe back.
And it's a stock ECU.
Stock
so,
ECU, yeah.
I don't know, 175?
Okay, he's a little more pessimistic or realistic than me.
Well, I was gonna say 170 because that's kind of my number, but I'm just gonna go with 171 because I just don't feel you're gonna make 180 plus wheel DP. That's high effort, in my opinion, for that little tiny 1.8 liter.
I mean, I wouldn't have believed it, except I've experienced it myself, PT.
Man, what do they call it? They call it a lawnmower engine, you know, all that stuff, a sewing machine. So yeah,
K-series
yeah,
guys are
171 max.
I don't want to gloat everybody, but let's be honest, we all know who the real Honda whisperer is now, because I said 180 and it made 180 on the first pull, and then for a second pull it decided to throw another horsepower in there just for good measure. So Pete's pessimism is not always accurate, and the Honda whisperer, well, tuners are always a little conservative, right?
Yeah.
They always leave a little on the plate,
Exactly.
so the customer's happy.
Exactly.
And clearly I'm happy. So man, for 270K,
It's pretty impressive.
that's remarkable.
Yep.
Because my old motor, like I said, had 70K on it and it made the exact same power. So pretty darn cool, everybody. I'm stoked on that. And we're gonna try one more thing just as a little treat. So Nick, what is this thing you got here?
This is a relic. This is what I used to use to tune all these cars back in the day. So this is basically like a chipped ECU with a ROM emulator and like a data logger inside. I haven't used this thing in like 10 years, but I thought I'd pull it out.
Why not?
And plug it in and just load up one of my old Type R base maps and see if we can get a little bit more power out of this
Is
thing.
it the Spoon map or the Mugen map?
I have all of those.
You got all those, right?
My archive of old chip tuning chips and whatnot. So
And did you actually make your own custom
so
chips as
I have
well?
a bunch of my own base maps that I used for when I was tuning these cars. So I'll
and
try
you-
to find one and
That's close to this combination
yeah,
of bolt-ons.
they were all like this: intake, header, exhaust.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Stock Type R motor. So
Standard build. I'm very boring, everyone, but this will be really fun to see if it makes any power. And at the very least, you can lower the VTEC crossover point.
yeah, exactly. See
we
what
can
it
pick
picks
up
up
some
with,
mid-range there,
with like
maybe,
a
and-
much lower VTEC crossover. And
And no, this is not on my budget, everybody. So this is just for science. We'll go back to the stock ECU at the racetrack. Well, the old school tech still does something.
It does, it works.
You've changed the VTEC crossover point, which is really the big change here,
yes.
not it?
And I think I just made the air fuels a little bit better, and it's actually not. I don't think it's as aggressive as on timing as the stock ECU is.
Yeah. I would certainly run that tune if it wasn't cheating, because I haven't
Yep.
paid for the tune. So we'll go back to
Well,
the
and
stock
you'd have
tune.
to get an ECU because we can't exactly
I can't just
use
steal
that
Nick's. That's
ECU.
true. I would have to do something
Yeah.
about it. But
Yeah,
I mean, this
it-
is nice. This
It picked
crossover
up
gain
a
is
bunch
nice.
of mid-range power everywhere, and then up top, I think the motor is just whatever choked the cat stock style cat, right?
Yeah,
So-
it's a larger cap, but it's not like a
Yeah.
super high flow. Anyway, fun to experiment with that.
yeah, it was fun.
Gives me ideas that I should spend my money elsewhere if I want to go faster in this car, like I did in this build. Everybody, suspension.
You made the right call, DP.
I always win the smarts game, PT.
All right, it is time for horsepower predictions, and man, after Dave's like incredible 180 wheel horsepower, I'm a little nervous here because I thought he was gonna make 170. I'm predicting 205.
Oh, now you're an optimist.
So that's what I was thinking, but I don't know, Nick.
I don't know.
Is that your number?
210,
205?
205. Yeah, I'm going 205.
Nick, you're going 210?
210.
Oh my
I'll have to be conservative.
Wow, you think that's conservative?
Yeah.
I'm like thinking this has got a stock manifold or intake manifold. so-
Throttle body?
Yeah.
Man, our old K-Swap coupe only made like 195 on the
I know, man, but that motor was a little soft, I think,
Yeah,
DP.
it was
Remember?
pretty
We put
healthier.
cams in it, it didn't help it make a lot of power. I feel this motor, driving it here, it feels good. The gearbox is smooth.
I'm going 199, boys. If you're over 200,
Okay.
I'm going 199.
Oof, all right. Finished. Man, look at that power figure. Dave had to, run off because he was so scared of the K motor power that he just had to bail. So I'm behind the camera, but let's chat here.
Yeah.
What are our peak numbers?
So this setup today made 209, almost 210, and 159, almost 160 foot-pounds torque. So
At the wheels, and we should mention it is like 90 degrees
It is
today.
90. It went over 90 degrees here today, so-
that's
Not
super
ideal.
impressive, but still super impressive for this engine.
Very
It's healthy.
Yeah. So in red, the results from this K20 swap, which is a basic K20 swap, right? Like it has the RSX intake manifold. It doesn't have the RBC intake manifold, which everyone swaps to because it makes a bit more peak power.
And what would you say on a setup like this? How much would we have picked up maybe?
Minimum 5, if not more.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
But you lose a little bit of mid-range, right?
You lose a little bit of mid, but
okay.
I don't know, the trade-off.
Yeah, no, for sure. On a Revy motor like this,
Yep.
I think it's certainly worth it.
Yeah, we only revved it up to 84 because the power peaked and it was starting to come down, so no point taking it anymore. And yeah.
And of course, the blue is the tuned Type R version.
The chip tune that I put on it. And yeah, what did it make? 181, almost 182, and 121.
It's just insane how much area under the curve
It's huge.
the K motor makes up. And 0.2 more of displacement, but it's just like such a superior engine, right?
Yeah.
Stock for stock, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, man, thank you so much for staying late and getting this done. I'm like beyond happy with this. It looks like the Link ECU worked really well for you. No hiccups there, so
Smooth. It was like very easy to work with.
that's awesome. That's good to know. So for all of you out there, who are looking for a Honda alternative, the Link certainly is a huge option,
Yeah,
right?
it's a great option.
All right, guys, now that the dyno is done, it is time to talk about the stinging thing that I have not wanted to mention, the budget.
The budget, yeah.
The budget. And before I get into it, I want to let you guys know that me and Dave, as Dave mentioned in one of his ITR videos, we built a budget out originally, but then during the install and filming these episodes, we didn't go back to that budget. We didn't check it. We kind of wanted to make it feel real and organic as you would. Originally you make a budget, I'm going to spend $15,000. Let's see how this goes. So when we were building these cars, we didn't really have a very, very accurate idea of how much money we were spending.
I mean, we made a spreadsheet for both cars, but we didn't factor in what you should do in real life. And that is, I need to leave myself $1,000 for unplanned expenses. And we certainly both had
Does
those
anybody
for these
do
cars.
that? I feel
we just budgeted, spend it all, and we didn't plan for any of that.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think that's the way a lot of people are, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Project creep happens, as we've proved with this series, but not to the extent that it might had we been building, say, more expensive cars or turbo cars. We creeped, but by 10%.
Yeah.
Maybe
$2,000.
maybe 20,
That's
15%.
Yeah.
So, it's not terrible.
It's certainly not terrible. So, after the tuning session, I am at a whopping $17,840 US. Yeah. That's a lot of money.
It is.
But I do have a parts car, and I managed to sell some stuff off of it, including the car itself. So. Yeah. I sold the cat for $300 US. I sold the rear bumper and the door cards for $60.
Okay.
The fender for $50, the headlights for $60, and the car itself, I have somebody that's ready to buy that for $300.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that's scrap and a couple other things here and there.
Right
so
to me, numbers wise, yeah.
That leaves me at $17,070.
I love it. I love it. You're just over, buddy.
I'm over.
You're taking a 1 second penalty.
Just a hair. But here's the thing. I'm sure if I spent the time, I could probably sell a couple more parts off that car.
Seats or something.
Well, the seats are gone. The gearbox,
that's true.
the wheels. The wheels are probably worth $70 or something. Who knows?
Yeah, you could.
But I'm not gonna do that. In the spirit of the game and knowing myself.
We have a deadline here too. Don't forget. And go to the track soon.
That's right. And the confidence that I have with the K motor, the superior motor here, whooping up on the B and the ITR, I'm gonna take that half-second penalty.
I appreciate it. So I have taken a half-second penalty. You've taken a full second penalty.
Yes.
So at the track, you've got to beat me by more than half a second.
Yes.
That's the challenge.
That is the challenge.
I think it's gonna be really close because in my mind, that's probably a half second quicker with the power, but without the LSD.
I know.
So this could be really down to the wire, guys.
Yeah.
I'm excited by this.
Yeah. It's going to be super
I didn't expect you to go
exciting.
over by that much. Frankly, I thought I was going to have a penalty, and I was just going to be telling stories about how I have the better car, even though it's slower. But I might actually win this now.
Yeah, and there's a ton of items we could have omitted.
Sure.
For example, I know personally the biggest stinger was the sway bar end links from Hard Race. on the rear with $230.
Yeah, that's a big-
which is an insane price. Like the camber arms are cheaper than that.
Yeah.
But those were specific to that sway bar I
yeah,
found.
that's right.
So I was like, I had to run them.
Yep.
You know, there's just small little things like that just get you here and there. I mean,
Yeah.
I could have omitted the brakes. I could have omitted a bunch of K-Tune parts too, but really, the theme here wasn't to, you know, try to build the cheapest possible car. It was to stay within a budget.
Yeah.
Make sure that these cars are reliable on a racetrack. Like, we're here creating content. We're not here trying to, you know, build the cheapest cars and then have them break at the racetrack, have to bring them back, fix them, try to do it again and repeat. So
yeah, that's true. And with the Type R, I mean, had I wanted desperately to stay under that $15,000 budget, we could have just fixed this side of the car and
Yeah.
blended the paint job and saved thousands of dollars.
Yes.
But it just didn't make sense.
No.
So I'm glad that I went over budget, but we did it right.
Yeah.
And there's things I would like to have done to this car that I didn't have the budget for. Like we talked about before, like for a B series to keep up with a K, I would have loved to put shorter gearing in this
Yes,
car.
yeah.
But that would have been like $1,000,
Yeah.
not including labor. So I would have had to
maybe an
install
S300
an
ECU from Honda.
yeah, or even just like a socketed ECU with a tuned chip on it. That all adds up. So there are things that I have not done just to stay under and only have that half-second penalty, and you know, be scraped a little more, which I think is understandable with a K-swap. It is a more involved project where there's going to be little things that are likely to bite you.
Yeah,
budget-wise, right?
yeah. And it's always so hard to budget. It really is. You don't think of everything. You never ever do. Like it's really hard to picture a build in your mind and then put it out on paper because there's just small things that do come up and creep up and get you here and there.
And we've done 50 builds and we still
Yeah.
didn't budget as accurately as some would have. So
Yeah.
we're not accountants. That's not our passion.
No.
This is our passion
This
here.
is the true car guy life, man. You're always over budget. You're always spending more than you think. So
You know what though? Money well spent, because both of these cars look
they do.
bloody
They're
awesome.
awesome.
They look badass.
I love it. I love driving it. It just like takes me back. So
yeah, this is gonna be a blast.
I am pumped. The next episode is a track battle between these. We are going to do drag race, probably a roll race, and then the finale, which is going to be the lap battle, which is going to be 3 laps. There's going to be, you know, we're not going to be doing 10 laps to get used to the car. We want to make this kind of like a cannonball style where
High
it's just
stakes,
like,
that's right.
exactly.
Yeah,
3
yeah.
laps, that's all you've got, time attack style. This corner here, it wants to spin me out, yep.
And it's rotating into here nicely. A little drop throttle rotation there. Oh yeah, this is VTEC goodness at its best.
We haven't been to the racetrack in like what, man? It's been, God, 2 years for me, I
I've
think.
been once or twice, 6 months
So
apart.
it's
you
gonna
haven't
be,
driven at all
no,
at the track,
it's gonna
so-
be funny and entertaining to say the least.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching so much. We hope you've enjoyed this series, and we've got one more coming for you, so stay tuned for that one.